The Triple Trio with Hutchi, Richo and RS Dye. It's Hong Kong racing with the blinkers off.
Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new edition of the Triple Trio. Jason Richardson sitting in the best seat in the house, and that's alongside the best form analyst in Clint Hutchison and the Hall of Famer in RS Dye. We start with you, Hutchbuster. Welcome. Lots going on in racing. COVID, no COVID. Zach can't ride. Yes, he can. What's going on?
There's a lot going on, isn't there? But thankfully, he'll be back on the weekend, Richo, which is brilliant for him. And it would have been frustrating for Zach because he missed a couple of winners potentially on Wednesday. But he's back in the saddle along with Antoine Hamlin, which is brilliant. We've had a good week. We've built up a little bit of a bank heading into next week. This meeting's a little below the sort of standard in terms of quality. But that doesn't mean we won't find some winners.
Don't you start saying that because our confidence is high. But Hutch, I've got to tell you something. We are man down. We are man down because our Hall of Famer is slightly under the weather. Hello, Hall of Famer. How are you feeling?
I'm not bad, mate. Just got a cold and a cough, sore throat. Sorry if I can't talk. It's probably good for you. I shut up today anyway.
Well, everyone, I've just seen everyone's just turned this off. If Shane's not going to talk, we're not interested. No, mate, you just hang in there.
I'm not like you. Just leave us in the lurch. I still turn up for work, mate. The circumstances and what. That's what you've got to do, mate. Just don't leave us in the lurch.
Couldn't hear a word you said then.
Yeah,
Hey, well done to both Shane and also you, Hutch. Last week, outstanding tipping yet again, and our best bets and our betting advice each and every week on the Triple Trio. It's not very much, not the idea of the show, but by gee, when Shane goes, I'll have that as a best bet because you've taken a couple of our others, you roll them all in together. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a brilliant win. And Accelerando, nice ride from Zach. The pace was a lot stronger in that than I thought, and it was a lot slower. I think as expected in the last race with Packing Treadmill, who was heavily back late, and I thought that was a great ride from Zach to go forward and assess the situation, and he's a nice horse, Packing Treadmill, and a pickup ride for Luke Curry during the week as well for Jamie Richards on Rattan Kingdom. This would have been a winner for Zach, but Luke got an opportunity and delivered. So, look, I've got to be sparing when I bring Shane in, but it was a nice sort of executed ride there by Luke, and Zach just keeps the momentum going as well, Shane.
Zach's flying. Good for Luke. He doesn't get many chances in races, so when he can pick up one like that and take advantage of it, it's very good. But, we talked about, I think, 2 weeks ago, Zach getting to 170 winners. I said then if he doesn't get suspended or injured, he'll probably get there. And looking at it, he's going to get there if he doesn't get hurt or suspended a lot.
So 12 best bet winners over this series, plus 11 other winning bets. So just finding the winners at the end of our show is being very, very lucrative for all of our viewers and listeners. So thank you for tuning in. Huge show today. We're going to burst out of the gates. Lots to talk about. Don't forget Sweet and Defeat, the file where Hutchie looks at his black bookers. Genius or Slaughter. Now, we've seen in recent weeks that Shane's been very kind, very gentle with the only geniuses, no slaughters. Will, now that he's under the weather, health-wise, will he actually get a little aggro and put someone in the slaughter file? Our star power, where has he been? We'll find out. Karis Teetan, good to have him on the show. Reflect on the Japan Cup and find you a stack of winners. So a lot to talk about, but let's first burst out of the gate. So we burst out of the gates with you, Shane. Zach Purton, so quick to 50, the fastest ever. What an achievement.
Yeah, amazing. He's riding very well. He's getting the rides, but he puts them in the right position. Doesn't do much wrong in a race, and he's been there for so long. He knows it like the back of his hand. This horse here missed the last start and got beat, which was the best thing mentally could happen to him because a horse like that can learn a lot from that. And then he goes back to the races, corrects himself, and when he's a nice horse, he's going higher, Clint.
Yeah, he's won 3 out of 4. He's been really impressive. I love the ability to, when you can take a position and kick off it, which he did. And as Shane mentioned, the start before he missed the start for Alexi Bedell, that was most unfortunate for his backers that day. It wasn't for us because we were on Stunning Impact, but he was, he'd won back-to-back prior to that. He was very good there. He was nicely rated from Zach, and he's going to continue to rise through the ranks for John Size, another nice horse with that particular stable.
So are we comparing apples with apples in regards to this fastest 50, or is there more meetings now than there was back in the day, or it's been very much a Formula 2 meetings every week?
No, they've always had two meetings every week.
So it's a legitimate record.
This is a legitimate record, yeah, for sure. Of course, Zach hasn't had Joe Moreira around to compete, and has probably
can only beat who you're against.
But exactly, and he's still he's really riding particularly well. And as Shane said, with his current form, he probably will get to that mark, and it might get down to suspensions. Just to clarify what I said last week, I wasn't saying that he could have been suspended with regard to that Ice Legend incident. It was more so that it just racing incidents. Yeah. It's a possibility. It's a fine line sometimes, and just to clarify that. So we hope he stays in the saddle, and we hope he breaks a record. Yeah.
So I asked you whether or not it's a legitimate record, because I want to compare it with some other fastest 50s, if you like. And I straight away think of AB de Villiers, who scored the fastest 50. Ever in international cricket, and he did it off 16 balls. So straight away I think about that. And then I think about the San Francisco Giants, who got to 50 wins, dropping only 11 games on the way in the major leagues back in 1912. But then I think of the not so legitimate ones, and I think of Kobayashi from Japan, who was the first to eat 50 hot dogs at the 2001 Nathan's Coney Island hot dog eating competition. He did it in 12 minutes, Hutchbuster, which was quite remarkable. Shane.
Richo, see that? You won't believe this. That's one of my favourite events every year, July the 4th, Independence Day. I get up early. It's always on about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I watch it. The champion is Joey Chestnut, right? He's a superstar. I think he's won it 15 times. The bloke you just mentioned's won it 6, and I think he's ate 76 2 years ago, hot dogs, and it was 10 minutes, not 12.
I can't believe. Hang on. I'm dealing with the Bruce McAvaney of hot dog eating. He's got the stats going.
I cannot believe. you learn something every day. Now we found out that S Dye is a massive fan of hot dog eating contests. Who would have thought?
I'll tell you what, Richo, I watched it this year, and he had a bad year because he hadn't been feeling well leading up to it and hadn't been training. Joey Chestnut. He ate 63. Now, that's with buns, water, and a proper big hot dog in 10 minutes. It's not 12 minutes, it's 10 minutes.
The only thing that I'm going to pick you up on is that you woke up early at 4 o'clock. No. You just getting home at 4 o'clock.
No. Like last night, I went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I wasn't well. About 4:45, I was up working on the races. About 3 hours sleep, so that's normal.
Okay, well, you're going to provide us a stack of winners then, big boy, if you started the work at 5 o'clock this morning. Hutch, how good's Keefe? It was an impressive win.
Wasn't it an impressive win? Lovely ride. I thought this as well from Decker, but it couldn't have panned out any better for him. It didn't pan out well for Beauty Verse. Just early on, just things didn't work his way, and he didn't seem comfortable. He's a lot better than that. So he's one to probably give a forgive run to, just in terms of that. But gee, he was impressive, Keefe, and now he's into triple figures in the ratings. And Shane, we know year in, year out, if you're in the triple figures in your Derby year, you're a big chance in the race. Now, I know him in terms of whether or not he's stable. We'll touch on that in a moment, Shane, but he's a very good horse, and he's sort of been there a little while now, and he's already sort of put up some good numbers.
Yeah, very good ride. Got him in the perfect spot. Zach had a bit of trouble getting into the right spot because his horse was pulling a bit hard, and he had to come off heels, and then all of a sudden he's 3 deep, and he had to go forward from a good gate, and he didn't race that well. But the winner, as you said, Clint, you're correct. There's not many horses in the Derby over 100 every year, but what is over 100, you can guarantee they run well, most of them, because they got the class on the other horses. So he's going to run 1,800. Whether he runs 2,000 could be debatable, but he'll definitely run 1,800 on that. And he seems to be relaxing pretty well now, Clint.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, maybe G1 Goldmine might be able to help us that way in regards to, Shane's asked the question in regards to really sticking at a strong 2,000.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've seen over the years, as we see here in Australia, against your own generation, sometimes you can still figure it. Green Birdie was a sprinter one year, and I think he ran 4th in a Derby. He didn't stay.
Mahogany was a sprinter. Yeah. He won a couple of Lightnings, and he ended up winning both the VRC and the AJC Derby.
As far as that this horse is concerned in, Keefe, we have a look at the distance profile, very strong around the mile. And I think it's and it's okay up to 2,000, but probably the optimum trip, according to all the algorithms with Group 1 Goldmine, and check it out if you want to and check any pedigrees out or form with horses, group1goldmine.com. But this horse will be fine over that mile trip, and he may well be okay over a further distance. So, look, I think he's right in the game. He probably deserves at this early stage, and there'll be a lot of others put their hand up, but he definitely deserves to be at the pointy end of the market for the Derby. He's got tactical speed. It looks like he'll get the trip okay, and yeah, I think he's a very nice horse. So it also advantages Frankie Law at this point in time, his trainer, because he can sort of map his way towards the Derby without other horses trying to get their rating up. So there are a lot of nice 4-year-olds coming through, but they've got to sort of elevate their rating. And for those that are new to Hong Kong racing, when we say the horse is rated 100, it's the official rating of that horse in Hong Kong in the under handicap conditions, like Australia. So he's already rated in that 100 officially. So he's basically got to start. So now they can just work backwards from the Derby and give him the nice prep on the way through.
Hey, Shane, some thoughts in regards to Jamie Richards, who you've had a bit to do, just introducing him to a few contacts. He trained a double, and also Matty Chadwick rode a treble. Your thoughts there?
Matty's flying. He's riding really well. Here's Tonic Mighty. It won well, got a lovely run, and behind had the right gate. A couple of these winners of Jamie's finally had gates on the weekend, on Wednesday night, and that's why they won. He's been getting bad gates with a lot of horses, and you just can't win around Happy Valley. But hopefully he'll come right now and have a few more winners.
Yeah, I think that horse had trialled really well, Tonic Mighty. I think he's got another one in him, actually, and I think also it's a learning process for Jamie. You know, he's probably by his own account thought that a couple of them have just been a little underdone, and now they're probably getting closer to it. But this is the second of Matt's winners in rewarding together. I couldn't agree more, Shane. Matt is riding really well. He's getting some opportunities, and that horse is he's a ripper. Rewarding together, he keeps winning. He knows where the line is. I love, Shane, the way the horse pins his ears back and just wants to attack the line.
He never goes bad. He always tries hard. I thought Matthew's ride on Bright Kid was outstanding on the fence. And just before the last two starts, he's gone too soon on that horse and got there too soon. But on Wednesday night, he saved him, and he didn't. And he brought him into the race at the right time. The two things that Matthew's doing now, which he didn't used to do as much, is one, he's using the stick in the finish, which is great. This, get rid of that. Simple as that. And he's using the stick. And two, he's riding the fence more, which you got to in Hong Kong because the horses are so even. He's really riding well, and he's gone to another notch at present, and it's showing with the winners he's riding.
We're going to find some future winners. We are looking at the Black Bookers. They're Sweet and Defeat.
Sixth generation, Miraculous Honour, Super Sunny Sing and Regent Glory all in a line. He's going to dig into an empty hole here because Super Sunny Sing has grabbed him, but Super Sunny Sing.
Well, our Black Bookers are simply called Sweet in Defeat. Hutch, who jumped into the file?
There were a couple this week. There wasn't a lot, and I'm surprised about that because we had some really nice horses going around last week. But as I was going through the results and trying to find future winners, I didn't think there was a whole lot really to take from the two meetings, but there were a couple. One of those was Pulsar Strider, of course, who was in the race that obviously the short price favourite was in, Superb Capitalist. And then Pretty Queen Prawn. Well, it would have been a nice result for us on Wednesday had he won. He was one of our plays in that race, and I thought he was fantastic. But look, Pulsar Strider, look, the mid-race pressure here was extreme. It brought Superb Capitalist undone, but he tracked and followed that speed, and he was going to get the better of that on Pacer. Of course, in the end, Solar Winds down the outside flew for Huey Bowman, who's flying it himself. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I thought Pulsar Strider here, Shane, was a nice run, given that he was pretty close to that speed as well.
Yeah, well, they all come from back. They went too fast. I backed the source on Wednesday night too. Pretty Queen Prawn. He looked home, didn't he, Clint?
Oh, look, he just, unfortunately, as I sort of said to our subs on the night, if Super Commander could have crossed Super Axiom early, he nearly did.
He nearly
did. And
a couple of times I thought he was going to.
And they didn't go toe-to-toe. It just meant that he was that little bit vulnerable late because it changes the whole race shape. And look, he got into a nice spot. He presented. It ended up they were just running on empty as far as the petrol was concerned. And yet another winner from back, well, a winner from back in the field. He's a nice horse, California Deeply, but I just felt he'd be too far back. And I wanted to be on Pretty Queen Prawn because, one, he was well over the odds. He was going to map to get a nice run. And he did get that, but it was just that little bit early, Shane. I felt that once those first two attacked one another and they didn't probably settle in their positions, it just made that mid-race pressure set it up nicely for the eventual winner.
Yeah, they went pretty quick. I thought he gave him a very good ride. Pretty Queen Prawn had every chance. The winner just got the dream run through, and his first up run was good, the winner's. He got back and ran on. It wasn't too bad, but he's racing really well, Pretty Queen Prawn.
Hey, Shane, what about Huey Bowman? You mentioned there as the throwaway line about how well Huey's riding. So 31 rides in Hong Kong since he's arrived, 6 winners, 5 seconds, 4 thirds, $7.8 million in prize money already, and he's zooming up the list. Zach sits, of course, on top with 51, but Hugh's made an immediate impact.
Yeah, he's flying. He's riding really, really well. I think since Moreira, about 7 years ago when Moreira turned up, he's been the best I've seen who's turned up out of the blue to ride. He's not making mistakes. He seems to get the pace right. He's saving ground, but when he's got to go round them, he'll go round them. He'll cut the corner, and he's very patient. But he's putting them into the right spots, and he's not riding horses out of their comfort zones. He's only going to ride a lot more winners the way he's riding.
He's only got a 3-month contract at the moment, but I reckon Christine, and with the girls being nice and young, it wouldn't surprise me if we hear Huey say, I'm going to extend and give this Hong Kong racing a crack.
I agree. It's hard. If you're doing well Hong Kong, it's a great place to ride.
Correct.
And
it
vice
sort of
versa.
suits him, doesn't it? 2 times a week. He would enjoy the lifestyle, play a bit of golf. Christine, I'm sure, who's just one of the great characters, she would be such a great asset for him in amongst meeting owners and the like.
Well, I think the landscape's really changed. All of a sudden, that number 2 spot's up for grabs.
Yeah.
So, and also, not only that, I mean, Zach's talking about, and Huey's mentioned this, I'm not relying on Zach retiring, but it's a possibility that it happens in the next couple of years. So,
well, Zach told us.
If you can run top 2 in Hong Kong, it's very lucrative. And at this stage of his career, post Winks, why not?
100 Group 1s on the CV, sort of what's next?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, that's going to be interesting. Do you have any intel on that, Shane? I reckon he'd be perfectly suited to extend.
He'll stay if the family's happy. Like he's going to earn 5 times more in Hong Kong than he'll earn in Australia. That's if the family's happy there, which I can't tell you. Zach's not leaving. Nicole won't let him leave. Nicole likes to go shopping. You know that.
Talking about Nicole, watch this space in regards to the Triple Trio. The Triple Trio may have a very special guest moving forward. That's
part of the team.
Part of the team. We might have to change our name.
Yes, exactly.
We'll see how well she goes. The Triple Trio. What we end up might be the Quaddy Beauties.
Yes.
Zach will be happy. He can say, right, you're earning your own money now, Nicole. You spend that.
Well, we didn't say, Shane, we're going to pay her. Looking forward to this. Genius or Slaughter.
They sweep for home now. Beander Cross has come very wide. Beander Cross answering the urgings of Shane Dye. Mannerism coming at him. Mannerism has got it.
Daring tactics by Shane Dye. He's got Octagonal in full flight on the corner. Bold tactics by Shane Dye are going to pay off, and he pinches the Chipping Norton.
Genius or Slaughter, always a highlight of the Triple Trio. However, this week we do have a little disclaimer. Our Hall of Famer is under the weather a little bit health-wise. So, Shane, this is normally your time to shine. If you need to make a little short one, we understand. But Genius or Slaughter or both, we're in your hands.
Okay, this is nearly fine. Huey Bowman on Wednesday night, gate 10. He doesn't panic out of the gates or try to go forward. Watch his hands. He just gets up over its wither. He sits up on him and just comes straight back to last and gets the horse relaxed. He knows he goes back. This was a really good ride. He had a lot of weight, 132 or something pounds, might have been more. He never panics at any stage, Clint, and he just lets the race unfold. Now we get up here. Now, he's got two options to go through them or circle them, and he's travelling well, but no doubt he would have been listening to the show and he didn't want to make a long run on a horse with a big weight. So he cuts the corner. Look here, he's travelling. He doesn't go round them with the big weight. He stays in and he says, I'm riding for luck. Probably still wins if he goes round them, but he didn't. And he just bides his way through and he timed his run to perfection. And this horse is racing really well, Clint. This season he's gone up a notch. He's definitely improved 5 lengths, this horse, from last season. What did you think? That's a beautiful ride, Clint.
Beautiful ride. I've got him in. I couldn't believe what I was seeing early in the season, and I was with Comet. We were with Comet Splendito. He's had his measure nearly fine, but I agree with you. You've got him 5 lengths, Shane. I've got him actually on his sort of ratings this season. He's literally improved 6 lengths on what he did last season. So for whatever reason, Casper's found the key to him. Maybe he acclimatised a little bit more. He didn't have the best of form in New South Wales, I think it was, prior to leaving, but the pennies dropped or he's settled in well and he is absolutely flying. The way he's going, he's a hard one to take on, but that was a picture perfect.
That was
Hugh.
a beautiful ride to watch, wasn't it? Beautiful. He made the right decisions. He tucked in when he needed to. He was like a cyclist in amongst the pack in a Tour de France. He was trying to get, drafting in behind. He only popped out when he was ready to sprint and win.
I think with Hugh, and he's got that sort of, it's his personality comes through almost the way he rides. He's very laid back and he seems measured, but he doesn't panic and he just keeps the horse balanced. And you saw that in that particular ride. Like Shane said, he was biding his time. He knew what he wanted to do. Geez, you still need a bit of luck, but the good jockeys, Shane, seem to find it.
Well, they do most of the time. Sometimes they don't, but when they don't, it doesn't worry me because, as I keep saying, they're going to ride a lot more winners riding like that than taking off around them with a big weight and struggling.
The boy from Dunedoo, he's doing well at the moment in Hong Kong. Well, for all the jockeys in Hong Kong, sit up, take notice. Shane Dye's said one genius. No doubt there's a slaughter coming your way. So the jockeys are getting nervous. Shane, what are you thinking?
I can't talk, mate. So I'm going to give them a week off. This will be 2 weeks in a row.
It's 3.
It's just
It's
actually,
3
I can
weeks.
find many just watching the races. It's not as though I go back and watch them. It's just when I'm looking at a race, something sticks out. And the last 2 meetings, nothing's really stuck out. So let's give them another week off, 2 weeks.
Hey, mate, I say this with great sincerity. I look on you as a brother in arms. Are you okay? Is everything okay?
Obviously not.
All right, from genius or slaughter to star power, Karis Teetan. Well, we add some significant star power to the triple trio. We love him when he's in the saddle, and we've missed him since he's been out of the saddle. He hasn't raced since September. His name is Karis Teetan, who joins us on the program now. Karis, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Where have you been, and how are you?
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, it's nice to be back, and of course, September I was diagnosed with an inflamed thyroid. And I had to take rest as soon as possible. So I've been out since then, starting to work about 2.5 weeks ago. So it's nice to start working again.
And you're feeling well? And how have you coped with sitting on the sidelines? Are you a good watcher or were you getting a little itchy?
Yeah, it was very itchy when Romantic Warrior went past the line first. So yeah, now it's hard to watch. Of course, in Hong Kong here, we are all here and the racing is so big here, and you everything is in social media, so it's very hard to stay away and don't look into it. So, but it's okay. At least my health is first. Now it's okay, and I should be back next Wednesday.
Well, that's great news, Karis, and we'll touch on Romantic Warrior in a moment or two. Just looking back at what you mentioned with the health, and you mentioned about your thyroid. How did it all? I mean, in terms of you finding this issue, was it something that you weren't feeling? I mean, how did you stumble across it? If forgive my ignorance, but obviously I did read you were working out or something like that. You didn't feel 100. Is that what happened?
Yeah, well, it's a very interesting thing, Clint, to be honest. So the start of this season, after the summer holiday, start doing all the workout and getting prepared to go to races. Everything seems to not be how it used to be before preparing for a first meeting. Like example, the heart rate, recovery, all these things. So I picked it up slowly by slowly, but I just thought, okay, I'm not fit. Maybe I had a month's holiday. Whatever. Let's keep going. And of course, the symptoms getting worse and worse until the morning before I went to race. I think it was the 18th of September. I woke up with my heart rate 180 almost, and I was like, "That's so weird." But my wife kept telling me, "Oh, it's maybe you're a bit stressed out for racing." I'm like, "It's no big race today. There's no stress. I've been doing this for so long." So anyway, I ended up going to races, riding 3 winners, and the Monday I went to do a blood test, and they found out that I had an inflamed thyroid, where your thyroid just overwork and produce too much hormones in your body.
Wow, that's incredible, isn't it? So how's the comeback at the moment? How's your preparation getting back to race riding? And we're seeing you at the moment. You're looking in great physical condition. You've obviously been working out very hard to make sure you're back.
Yeah, of course. When I first found out about this, I had to stop everything completely. I could not even go for a walk because the heart rate was just shooting up. Was pretty crazy. So now, of course, I had almost 2 months off. I've been the last few weeks. I've been doing a few work in the gym, not cardio, just picking up weights, Pilates, just to sort of get back into it before getting into the hard work. So I would say last 2 weeks has been very good. I've been going to the gym, not overworking, but to a level where I think my fitness can be good enough to go back to racing.
Karis, I can tell from your voice now you're obviously excited to get back and you've got a positive mindset, but that must have been incredibly stressful at the time, and I can't imagine it wouldn't have been easy to deal with from a mental point of view, never mind a physical point of view.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't want anybody to go through what I've gone through. Physically, yeah, it hits you so hard, but mentally, from being like, riding 3 winner a day before and suddenly feeling like it's the end of the world for you. I think in 1 week I lost like 4 kilos. You can't see it, but I've picked up it again. So yeah, I was in a bad shape in a while. I was a bit worried, to be honest. But I thank God now everything's gone back to almost normal, and I can get back into the saddle.
And it gave you an opportunity, no doubt, to be with your wife, Xavier, and also your daughter, Isabel. So no doubt a little bit of home time, and that's therapeutic in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, it was great. Of course, the whole family, we went to Thailand. We had 9 days in Thailand with the little one, and my family was over from Mauritius. So overall, it worked out perfectly. But it's just a shame to miss out on many opportunity this time of the year. But you know what? It's health first, and we have the whole future in front of us.
It's not therapeutic in my house, Richo.
I was being very kind. It's never been therapeutic in my house either.
but anyway, let's switch focus. Karis, obviously, you got this association with Romantic Warrior, and you've been put on the sidelines. Tell us about the mixed feelings you must have been feeling when you saw him stretch out to success, obviously, just recently.
It's very hard to of course watch a horse like that go on and win some big races and you on the sideline. But it's one part of me. It's very happy to see him continuing his success. This horse, I think he's got a great future in front of him. Of course, well done to the connection, Danny and the owners. They had to book someone to ride the horse, and they had to book someone good to ride him. So I'm not complaining that I'm not riding the horse in December. Of course, they made a decision. If James will ride the horse before, he will continue riding him in December, because they were not sure when I will come back, and even myself, I was not sure. So yeah, it's a bit emotional watching him, but same time, I'm very happy for the horse to to go on and start and run in December.
And he's a classy young man, James McDonald. As soon as he was interviewed, he referenced you straight away, Karis.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for James. We watch a lot of Australian racing, but he's one of the guys that I think many young jockeys will look up to. He's just blessed with talent, and of course, when he was here, the first thing he mentioned about after winning the race was mentioned about me, and I hope my recover good. And I walk away, and then I went to see him when he done his presentation. He was just so down to earth, and telling me about my health and hoping I get back soon. So it's great to meet people like that and just give me confidence and just makes you want to be good in life.
Yeah, it was a classy moment from J-Mac and as well as yourself, Karis, there with what you've had to say. But just aside from that, in connection with that, now you're not riding him. There's less pressure on the day. How do you think he'll go against the best from Japan? Obviously, you've ridden in these races all along. You've had this. No one knows him better than you. And to do what he did coming back from such a long layoff was a remarkable achievement. So he's a very interesting runner this year because Japan are bringing over a strong contingent. What's your impression on his chances?
Yeah, I feel that, of course, he's definitely improved since last year because I rode him beginning of this season. And then he asked me if I could help to gallop him yesterday. And actually, I sat on him yesterday. I know Japan is bringing up here a whole group of good horses, but I think this year we have a horse that have the potential and have the ability to go out and be competitive. So he's got a lot of class about him. I galloped him yesterday. He gave me a very good feel. I think mentally and physically he's improved a lot. And I think he's ready. I think he's ready to go out there and take on the big boys from Japan.
I mean, what people don't realise, Richo, as well, he did. I mean, Karis, it's unbelievable. He did all that in his first preparation, effectively, from where you won at Happy Valley to winning a derby and then on to the QE2 at the end of the year. It's his first preparation. It's unheard of.
Yeah, he was just last season. He was just unstoppable. He just every time he went out there, I felt that he was getting better and better physically and mentally. So I always knew that after the summer break, when he's older, he will even be better. So I'm not surprised, to be honest. I'm not surprised. He's got bigger thing to do this horse, so it's something to looking forward to.
Bring it on. Back to you personally. So you've been preparing. You've been riding in some trials. You're back and ready to resume.
Yeah, I've done about five to six trials so far. So 5 to 6 days of trials, a bit of Happy Valley and Shatin trials. So yeah, it's going good. I'm doing a lot of track work in the morning. Meeting, of course, it's nice to be able to talk to the trainers again and see the other jockeys again. So I'm just really looking forward to start the season again and finishing it off strong and looking forward to next season.
That's amazing and interesting news all round this year, Karis. Obviously, Joe withdrawing his license, he won't be riding there till the end of the season. So, I mean, I must imagine that's even not, what should I say? I want to put it the right way, but obviously, you've been prominent in the championship recently and all of a sudden one of the key rivals is not the game anymore. It's a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, of course. Joe has been of course, a god of Hong Kong racing, to be honest. We all have a lot of respect for Joe, what he's done here. Human-wise, he's an incredible human being. So I was very close with him when he was here. We started racing in Hong Kong the first year. So it's been a long year with Joe. I think we all gonna miss him when he's not gonna be in Hong Kong. But I think, like I said again, his health and his family is more important than anything else. So I think he's doing what suits him. So it would be very nice to see him riding in December for the last time in Hong Kong. And you never know, maybe he will come back again, but maybe not. I'm not sure. But it's just going to be nice to see him again.
Oh, we look forward to seeing you back again as well, Karis. Fast forward about 18 years and little Isabel comes over to you and says, Dad, I want to be a jockey, just like you. What's your advice?
I might say just hold on for that. Not yet. There's other things to look forward to. But my wife said whatever she wants to do, I think even my wife, I think next year she wants to get a horse that's finishing racing here to take a horse to Bees River to introduce a horse to Isabel and see. It's nice, we all in horse racing and in horses. My wife even used to ride training in the morning here. So it would be nice for Isabel to get into horses.
Oh, fantastic, mate. We're really looking forward to you coming back into the saddle. Good luck when you come back and hit the ground running.
Thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure talking to you guys again.
Oh, the one and only Karis Teetan. Now, very special Star Power guest. Well, let's talk global racing, and the highlight of last weekend, 174,000 people rushed into the course to watch the great race, the Japan Cup. And Hutch and RS, we saw a masterclass from one of the best jockeys in the world in Ryan Moore. This was some ride.
It was an exciting race. It was a case
Brilliant.
of you didn't know where to look with 200 metres to go, and there was plenty going on. But Ryan, he's in the red cap there, probably about right in the middle of your screen, obscured, but he had to pick a path. Shane, I don't know how he did it. Somehow he managed to find his way through. There was one or two that were badly hampered, but it was more at his brilliant best.
A great ride, even out of the gates. He had a good gate, but he just got into a nice posse and he had the horse relaxed. I watched this horse the whole race and, geez, it was a good ride. In big races, he just doesn't panic and he rides the fence always. Whereas a lot of good jockeys, they don't ride that way in big races. They take the unluckiness out of the equation. But Ryan would rather be a little bit unlucky and give the horse every chance to win. I think he's outstanding. You know that. I keep saying it every week on the show. Unbelievable ride.
Of course, we spoke with Damien Lane last week. He ran 30. He drew also a nice barrier. Had a nice
10 out of 10 ride. That was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought his ride was great. He was beaten by a better one on the day, and it was a nice result for Damien, of course, running third. And he presented to win it. Horse probably wasn't good enough on the day, but it was a nice run. And yeah, they're both going to be featuring next week, of course, with the Hong Kong International races.
Yeah, so the head on, what Ryan Moore was able to do was absolutely brilliant. So you just need to have a look at Ryan. He's just centimetre perfect as he's going through these tight little gaps. This is the last of the gap that he burst through, but there was about 3 of them before that. And Damien Lane up on the inside did a great job. Just for a moment, I thought he was going to steal it. There was a couple of other unlucky runs. Hey, Shane, for rarely, look at the time that they've run. Rarely you see in Japan, but they dropped the tempo early. It wasn't as earnest as we thought it would be.
From what I'm told, Richo, it wasn't a very strong Japan Cup. I don't know personally, but from people who do the form and that race and know it very well, they said it wasn't a strong race this year. So, but normally they do go faster.
In broad list, they come to the line. Sunline, the mare of the world, wins it. He's swan song of racing. He's waving to the crowd, Lord Kanaloa. Away he goes.
His first victory in the Hong Kong bars, and Highland Reel defeats the defending champion.
One of the great parts of the week building up to the international Group 1s on the Sunday is the International Jockey Challenge, and I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic on that Wednesday night.
Yeah, and we say it every year, gee, what an array or what a lineup this year, but I genuinely think, I don't think you'd get a better lineup really than they have this year. It'd be very difficult to. Anyway, we've got the big names from literally every corner of the world.
And how do they go about allocating? Say, for example, if I'm Jamie Carr or I'm James McDonald, I'm arriving there to ride in the International Jockey Challenge. Do I have any choice in the rides that I get? How do they go about allocating?
No, well, the system has changed. Back in the day, it was done by a draw, and you'd find that some riders were just on 300 to 1 chances, and it wasn't really equitable. So now there is some allocation, and what the club do, they have a fixed odds department that deal with obviously the Jockey Challenge, and they use part of their pricing on races to try and level the playing field and give each rider from each jurisdiction, a relatively even spread.
Right.
And it has certainly worked. I think, they have done a very good job in that, and it makes it more appealing for the riders coming in to know that, well, I'm not going there to ride, 250 to 1 pop, so what's the point? I'm a genuine chance.
And there's appearance fees, there's prize money. It's fantastic. So 4 races.
800,000 Hong Kong is a total amount that it's up for. And I think the winner gets 500,000 Hong Kong. So just as a pointer, that's roughly about 80,000 Australian. That's not including, of course, the prize money, but it's an amazing prize, Shane. But you got something to add?
Yeah, they put the weights up too, Richo, at one stage, because when I was riding it every year, I could ride 113 and most of the boys couldn't. So the jocks that could ride 113 got all the bad rides. So that's one of the reasons they changed it, because it wasn't a fair system. So they actually made the weights. I knew a jockey who could ride 118 and he used to put down when he come 124 so he could get the top weighted and better chances, you know.
Surely you're onto that. Surely you were.
No, but I rode there. They know
you had no chance.
I can't beat the system. Don't worry, if I could have, I would have.
No doubting. So 4 races. Let's have a look at a Hutch here.
Yeah, well, what I've done, this is just a reference, and I'm sure that the jockeys that are competing in it will like to have a good look at this as well. So, the fields, the entries are out. We basically in Hong Kong know the week before what is going to run, and barring them not passing a vet check, which happens. So this is
the Class 3 over 1,200 metres. We've got 4 races to assess, 2 Class 3s and 2 Class 4s.
Yes, and I've numbered them 1 to 4 in terms of the number 1 ride that you'd like to get. Now this will change, but it's a good guide to what in terms of what will be the best rides in each race. And in some of them, there's not much between the top 4, and some of the races there's probably 6 chances. But Gold Marquee, last start winner, he rated well. He's got a good chance. Exponential, I think James McDonald might have ridden in this series last year. Didn't get much luck on that one, but he's going to be in the game. Adios brings the same form as Gold Marquee, and he probably had an excuse the other day along with Mr. Valiant. So in order, from top to bottom, those would be the top 4 rides that you can get for that particular race. Is one of 4 legs that they have for the jockey series.
Okay, and on a point system over those 4, only of those 4 races though. So other races, no bonuses at all throughout the night for other races.
No, just the 4 races.
Just the 4. Just all we're counting on.
Yes.
Okay, so that's one. We go to our next one here, and of course, hutchieshonkers.com. Leading into the Wednesday night is going to be compelling. So make sure you do subscribe to that.
Yep, we don't know which jockeys will have what horses, but that's why this is also a good guide, and barriers will play a big part. So, whilst that's my order at this point in time, it's just to let you know what will be the better rides, for this particular contest.
So how does the club go about deciding? Do they do basically what you've done there and put them in order, and they say, okay, therefore, we'll give these jockeys the choice of the first 4 or allocate them? How do they go about doing it?
Well, as I said before, with the gentlemen that do the fixed odds for the Jockey Challenge, they rate each races according to their own markets, and then they'll say, well, these are the best rides. And most people in Hong Kong would know. Okay. In the Class 3 mile, I got Winning Dragon over Rising from Ashes. I think he'll be a very good ride. Amazing One Plus and Packing Famous. So those are the top 4 in that leg. I think the third leg we go to another
Class 4 over 1,000.
It's 1,000.
So barriers are going to be vital here.
Yeah, and it's always interesting that they have the 1,000 metres in this. I'm not sure if they should have had to have a distance race.
Yeah, I would have thought. Isn't that a better test of the jockey's skill?
Because they have a 1,200 metre race already, and the 1,000, I suppose it is unique and it's still an art, but an interesting runner in this particular race next week, and a good pickup ride will be a horse that will be fresh up in Forte. I've got Forte on top. In second. Circuit 7's got the race fitness, but there's not much between these 4. Handsome Rebels going well, and Faribault. So those are the top 4 rides in the 1,000 metre race. But I'm not sure. What do you think, Shane? Do you think they should have a 2,200 metre race as opposed to 1,000, or are you happy with the 1,000?
Actually, the 1,000 metres is a lot harder to ride than a 2,200 because they go so fast, and it's not easy getting in. Whereas 2,200, you take your time and it unfolds. So for the overseas boys coming here, they would be more shocked riding in that 1,000 because you go down the hill, up the hill quickly, and before you know it, the race is over. And a lot of them can't adapt to that race, even though they're great jockeys. They learn in time, but that would be harder to ride in 1,000 than a 2,200.
I think the other thing that might be in the jockey club's mindset is that some of those 2,200 metre races, in terms of finding a lot of chances, it might be more difficult to the 1,000-meter contest, you probably can even things out a little bit more and make it a more even competition. So that might be a reason. And from that perspective, maybe the 1,000 would be a better option.
And just educate our audience at Happy Valley. So we've got a 1,600-meter or 1,650 start. What's the next available?
1,650-meter start. Then you go to 1,800, which is a longer run into the home straight into that turn. The 1,000 metres is actually a straight run down the back until the turn. It's only that one turn. And then the 1,200, you've got a two turn, and that's where barriers are even more important.
Yeah.
The 1,000 metres, the wider draws are easier from the wider draws over the 1,000.
So in theory, we could have an 1,800-metre race. So I take your point. Just to test the jockeys. It's an international jockey challenge. So let's test their skills.
Yes.
You got the 1,200. So at the moment, we've got 1,000, 1,200, and then two 1,650 races. The fourth of those is the one you're going to have a look at now.
Yeah, this is the next one along. So mark these ones down. This is a competitive race and an interesting one with David Hayes. Has got one runner there and Star Contact that I think is a good chance. Sunny Delight's a last start winner. Royal Pride's a last start winner. So there's a few horses here that are in a little bit of form. There's a few that have been with mixed form that could easily figure. But in terms of the top four, in my race, I thought Star Contact actually from his run at Sha Tin recently. Not sure about Happy Valley, but his number was good there. Sunny Delight, Royal Pride, Win-Win Fighter. But that's a tough leg, that. I think that race is pretty open, but those are the horses that I'd number 1 to 4 in terms of their chances at this point. Without barriers, it should be noted. So just...
And from a betting point of view, the Jockey Club, it's a big part of it. Punters will bet on who wins the International Jockey Challenge.
So the Jockey Club will hold a fixed odds market.
Yep.
And they usually start betting on it, I believe, the night before around 7 or 7:30. And it's it'll be a great event once again. And they do bet live in the run as well. So the odds do change, Shane, and you do have some changes in the odds depending on the results early.
Correct. Yeah.
I was lucky enough I've been there once and love the Wednesday night, love the Sunday as well because of the elite racing, but the Wednesday night, the atmosphere. I was up in a facility where we were eating and drinking, having a great time, but then I looked down and I saw the beer garden. That's a quick... Hutch, if I had to ask you, one of the two, are you a beer garden man or are you up and behind glass?
I used to do both. Because you'd get a nice meal up in and a lovely view, and you'd sit up there and you'd have your wines or your beers and you'd watch the first half of the card. And then when you're feeling a little merry, you want a little bit of action in terms of, being a bit closer to the action, you just wander on down to the beer garden. But I would have thought, with what everyone's gone through in Hong Kong the last couple of years, they'd all like to be in the beer garden in terms of getting back to the races. You want that buzz, and it's a fantastic atmosphere there.
Oh, no worries. Next year, we're going to take the Triple Trio on the road, and we're going to go to the beer garden. We're going to take our man RS Dye. He's going to lead us in. Hutch Buster. He's going to be like our pony. He's just going to attract them.
I think he'd get mobbed if we went there. There'd be too many there that would want his autograph or a tip or something. So I'm not sure how we'd do that. We'd need some security. It'd be like Let It Ride. You know that movie where he has the security bloke alongside of him? I think that's what we'd need.
Richo, I'll tell you a funny story about Hong Kong. About just before COVID, I was there, and I had a really good friend from America, a girl, and her husband, who was there the whole time I was there. And she's a really good sort, and we're in Lai Kai Fong. And she says, I'll get a cab. So she went to all the cabs. No one would take her, right? And she's really good looking, this girl. And I'm standing there on the side, and the bloke taxi driver yells out, Dai Sing, Dai Sing, Dai Sing, which is my Chinese name. He said, where you want to go? Come on. So I got in the car, and she goes, are you effing kidding me? I couldn't get a taxi and they want you in there. I said, that's Hong Kong. So they still knew me 4 years ago before COVID, the taxi drivers. Oh, it was the best moment ever because she was so good and she couldn't get a cab.
Yeah, it's true.
That is brilliant.
They are rock stars in Hong Kong, and Shane would have been loving that, wouldn't he?
Oh, that's right.
A little bit of the chest out.
There'd be a little gas in that chest. There's no doubting that. That's our look at the International Jockey Challenge. Now we look forward to what is going to be a great day of racing into the night. Sunday is for Hong Kong racing. Sunday is for Hong Kong racing. Looking forward to in many ways, maybe a little calm before the storm, of course, building up towards the international meeting. You've already said that this meeting is going to be a challenge. Let's start at race number 8.
It'll be a challenge, but I think the form obviously will read pretty true. It's not, a lot of the better horses are stepping out next week, but we'll cover the last 3 races as we normally do. And it's yet another race where Zach's going to have a great chance on a horse called Morado won his last start, but he's obviously been associated with number 4, Blissful Star. He doesn't ride that. That's a lead in itself. And Silvestre de Souza's picked up the ride there. And Casa Legend brings similar form in to obviously Morado. So it's an interesting race. This is Morado's last win. Obviously, Zach got on board. He rode him a lot more positively than what Silvestre had prior from an inside draw. He went forward on him. He sat him in the right position, and he proved too good. And it was Casa Legend that these two settled down to battle it out. On the weekend, Shane, Casa Legend obviously meets him a touch better at the weights, but I think Morado will hold a margin here because he'll go forward again, and I thought he was pretty good through the line against that particular rival.
Just looking at this, Clint, there's no pace in this race, and all the chances are drawn outside gates, like Morado, Blissful Stars drawn wide, Super Highways drawn wide, Casa Legends drawn wide. So they're going to come across most of them, and unless Victory, a young Victory kicks up from gate 1 with no weight and leads, there's no pace, so Morado could end up nearly in front from his last run.
It could be. And with the rail, we've got a mixed meeting in Hong Kong as well on the weekend. So just for those who don't know what that is, it's part on the turf, part on the dirt or weather track. And the reason why they do that, they obviously have the rail right out to protect that ground that's where the rail goes back into the Truth, the international meeting, and obviously they don't want too much wear on it. So we have a few all-weather races as well. But in this particular race, I think Morado's clearly,
the play.
He's certainly the horse to beat. I think Young Victory, the one that Shane briefly spoke about, there's got to be strongly considered. That wasn't a bad run from him the other day, and he gets a nice soft run in behind. And the value runner in the race is a horse by the name of Noble Steed, who I know he won his last start, but he is a 9-year-old. But he's come back, I think, in okay form. And he used to be known more as a Sha-Tin horse anyway, and they've been competing a lot with him at Happy Valley of late, but he's pretty well handicapped here, and he gets a nice soft run from the inside. So there might be a little bit of value in the Quinellas, but I think Morado clearly the horse to beat.
Any other different advice there, Shane, or Morado's the way to play?
No, I don't think nothing stands out because of the gates, but I'd go Morado probably, and the Casa Legends just going to sit outside of him and follow him across.
We go to race number 9, and this is over 1,400 metres. Class 3 race here. Zach rides Amazing Victory.
That he does. A horse that's been in really good form, and he had 2 wins and a placing, and that's been without the services of Zach this season. Unfortunately for him, I think to be competitive in this race will go close against the favourite, the likely favourite as I see it, in APAL. He needed probably to draw a gate. I think this makes it awkward for Zach. He'll need to be reasonably positive, but he's no guarantee to get a good run per se. And it is a race where there are some newcomers, mostly private purchases. For those who don't know, that's raced horses from overseas. We've got them coming from all over the globe, actually. Australia, Brazil. We've got a Brazil. How about this name? Good Ban Bang. How did that one get through?
Good Ban Bang.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? I don't.
Good luck being a caller there.
Being a caller, I can't say I'd want to be.
Good Bang. So
yeah, a few horses from overseas. I've got to say, from my looking at them, I don't think any one of those are going to be considered. Ivy League did have some stakes level form from Ireland predominantly, and he did compete in France towards the end, but I don't think he's ready on what I've seen. This is the horse that they got to beat. He's drawn gate 1. He was a very impressive winner last start. He's another one of these horses going towards the Derby potentially if he can get his rating up. But APAL, Shane, is a big chance.
Yeah, he should be winning from gate 1. It's not an overly strong race, this. The one to beat outside of him is All Riches, who went too fast in front last time. And he'll get a soft lead here tomorrow, you would think. And here's All Riches here. APAL from gate 1 will just follow him, come out, and I can see them running 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, All Riches, they actually had, I think it was the apprentice Angus Chung in here for his ride on Trader because he was obviously instructed to lead, but they ended up firing each other up. Now, amazing victories in this race, and Zach rides. He had the sit on All Riches here and couldn't get past him. And it's going to be difficult again for him to turn the tables, one would have thought there. So I think what Shane says is absolutely right. The value runner in the race, I think, could be Let's Do It. He's not one of mine because I think he's not that well named. I think he's a little bit of a thinker. Should be almost Let's Not Do It. But he's regularly hit the frame. He gets in with a lightweight. Look, as Shane said, A-Pal looks clearly the horse to beat. I'm going to have him a short price favourite. The other interesting runner in the race, and I would have made a case to potentially have something on him, was California Redwood, who I haven't seen this before, Shane. Prior to his intended return this season, and he'd been trialling the house down and going really well. It's noted on the Jockey Club website, you can check all of this out. He was scratched or withdrawn prior to race day because he had a heart irregularity the day before racing. I can't remember ever seeing a horse scratched prior the day before due to a heart irregularity, Shane.
No, nor can I. He's had 3 trials this time and they've been okay. He's a nice horse. His runs last year were good. He's not the worst in the race, but you would think whatever he does, he will improve. He hasn't had a run for, 7-8 months?
Yeah.
But he does go well, Clint. I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah, he's a nice horse. I mean, I know it's a very simplistic way to look at it, but on debut in Hong Kong, he was beaten half a length by Lucky Swain S.
Yeah.
He then ran into Seizing the Moment, who was flying last season at that point. And then he ran a 5th beaten just over 2 lengths behind Rewarding Together. I think it's won 2 since that particular race. So he's got the right form around him, but just a strange setup in terms of...
Well, we saw a little bit with Edward Cummings monitors every piece of work that Justice does with heart rate monitors, except all that sort of stuff. And remember, he scratched her from what was going to be her first up run because he was a little concerned about her heart rate monitor
recovery
sort of input.
Yeah.
What the data that he was receiving.
Well, so, that may be it. I'm not sure if Tony uses some of that equipment. Yeah. Maybe he does. Because, in fact, you'd have to say would have because something along those lines because it's just a very strange scratching the day prior. But all that aside, I think he's a nice horse to be one to watch. It did concern me in terms of that little scratching in the gap between runs. So I think A-Pal's obviously going to be the one to beat.
And it's going to be short. Race number 10, Zach Purton rides K-Ying Master. Huey Bowman, who's in good touch at the moment on Majestic Star. We see Campione is there at the top with 135, so that is side to claim.
Good race to finish the day with some nice horses here and couple of interesting ones as well because Vincent Ho, who normally rides the horse that I think is there to beat in Super Wind Dragon, who's absolutely the definition of airborne, he's now riding Galaxy Witness. The way that I've read this, and I haven't rung Casper to ask him, so I'm not sure, but he may well have booked Vincent some time ago, and maybe Vincent is riding Galaxy Witness because of that, because Super Wind Dragon you wouldn't think would be one you'd want to jump off anytime quick, and he's had a good association with this horse, and I think he'll win again. It's a ripper of a race to finish with. Like you said, we've got Campione, Majestic Star. They've all got intertwining form lines. Galaxy Witness back in trip, who, as Shane said, doesn't get the mile. What did you make of that, Shane, in terms of Vincent not riding Super Wind Dragon and riding Galaxy Witness?
I'm not too sure, Clint. This is a really good race. I think Caprione gets his chance to atone here and go a lot better, even though he went well last time. He's got the weight off his back, but he's had bad gait last start at Happy Valley, which is no good there. From this gate here, he's just going to lead, you would think, Clint. And if he lets him run along, this is one horse you do let run along, he could be hard to catch with 125 pounds. But, as you said, he's flying Super Wind Dragon. I backed him last start, and I think I might have tipped him as the best bet of the day or something. I can't remember. But with 115 pounds, gate 5, he'll be running 5th or 6th, and he'll get the last crack at them with 115 pounds, and he's going to be hard to beat. I don't know about Galaxy Witness. He'll get back, and he'll be running on. The 116 pounds going to help him. He trials very well on the dirt. But you also got Majestic Star, Clint, who's done nothing wrong, loves the dirt. Gate 1, Huey's on, but he has got 133 pounds now compared to Super Wind Dragon, which is 115, which is 18 pounds. A lot of weight difference there.
Yeah, there is. And a lot of these have intertwining form lines, like K-Ying Master, Zach rides. You mentioned Campione. Well, he ran second to him only 2 starts back. There's not much between them. And the other factor with Galaxy Winners, and I don't think I won't be with him. He's got blinkers going on as well, but maybe some will be keen enough on him. But I think Super Wind Dragon will be one of the better bets on the whole card. I think a lot of the market will trend towards Campione, Majestic Star, even Car Ying Master with Zach on board. Zach's only had 5 rides on Car Ying for 2 wins in a second. He's just another very consistent horse. But the main reason why I'll be with Super Wind Dragon, apart from his recent form, is that fact that Shane just brought up. It's the big weight difference. And in conjunction with that, we've got the map. He can just sit behind them, and it won't matter what the pattern is. Some days you get it where it's hard to reel them in. Some days, you want to be away from the fence. And I don't think it really matters with any sort of pattern with the all-weather. And it does change throughout the season, whether it's night or day, etc. Doesn't really matter for Super Wind Dragon. He's going to be getting the A run, and he gets weight off those rivals. He's a good bet.
Oh, he sounds confident, doesn't he? Which is the reason why I've got my pen, because now's the time that we find our very best bets. And when we write them down, what we've been finding in recent weeks is they deliver come Sunday. Hutch, as is the tradition, we allow you to go first. Shane puts together a list and then starts to put a pen through the ones that he agrees with, and he finds one at the end. What do you like? What are your best?
It's a hard one for us to disagree too much, I think, on the weekend, because there's a few races there that you probably don't want to play in, but those that we're confident in, I imagine, and I don't know what Shane likes, but APAL will be around even money, one would think, and extremely hard to beat. But I think Super Wind Dragon, the equal best bet, shall we go with that? I'll give 2 and then leave a little bit of room for Shane.
Super Wind Dragon, race 10, race 9, APAL.
APAL, those will be the 2 best of the day.
Okay, we might be rolling them in. Drum roll, drum roll. Were they on your list, Shane, for starters?
They've both got great chances, look like winning, especially APAL. The other horse will be hard to beat. I'm looking at this, and every race, it's funny. There's 2 good chances in most races. And in most races, one race is on pace. Like you take race 7, for instance, True Legend, yes, we can. True Legend will lead. He's up in weight a lot. Yes, we can gets back. And in a lot of races, it's like that. Let's go race 5. And I'm going to go a little bit different here. I'm going to go Son of McPhee. He meets Righteous Doctrine a bit better at the weights, and he's going to race a lot closer than him. Righteous Doctrine was my best bet last week, which won. But from gate 12, D'Souza's got to go back on him and ride him quiet. From gate 5, Son of McPhee with Purden on will race a bit closer. And he ran very well last start, even though he got beat 2.5 lengths. He was held up at the 250 to 300, and it just took him off his stride and balance. So I'll go Son of McPhee.
Okay, I love it. Race 5, Son of McPhee. And in that race 7 that you mentioned, Shane, that match race that you think, one forward, top, a lot of weight, one's going back. So the weight differential and also the racing style, True Legend and Yes We Can. Which way would you go at the moment out of those 2?
Well, the trouble you got with True Legend is the Trader's drawn 11 and True Legend's drawn 12, and both of them are going to want to lead. There's no way True Legend's going to lead Trader. Trader will lead and he'll sit outside of him, which is going to probably suit Yes We Can. It's not a bad race. That even co-partner Elite's back on the dirt could go well. He had good overseas form, if I remember correctly. Handsome 12's racing well, looking at it. But which way would I go? Geez, what do you reckon, Clint?
I think that with that, like you said, Trader and True Legend, I think the pattern was really in True Legend's favour the other day. I think it showed how much it was. I know the claim helped, but he had the claimer on before. But we know him well enough. He doesn't normally see a strong mile out, so he definitely had the pattern on side. For me, the standout in that race is Handsome 12. Zach draws gate 2.
Gate 2. He's racing well. He's got a chance.
Sits behind the pace, loves the dirt. I like that form around Cha Chang Prince, and he'd be the one that I think's the horse to beat there.
Okay, and that's in race number 7. All right, that's our look at our very best bets. RS, the voice has hung in there, my friend. You've survived. Well done. I hope you have lots and lots of medicine so that next week and our big week, you're ready to launch.
I just need some tender loving care, mate. That's all I need.
Hutch and I are unavailable.
Yeah, no.
But I'm sure that you'll be able to find some tender loving care, mate.
He needs to go and find that taxi driver from Hong Kong again.
Yeah. Good luck, mate. Hutch, looking forward to this week, and then we launch into what's going to be an epic week.
Yeah, no, we've got a big week next, and I can't wait for the IJC on Wednesday with all those huge names, and then the main event itself on Sunday. We will be talking as well to a very special guest, Richo, and I'll let you mention who it will be next week.
It is the one and only, the world's best jockey according to the rankings for this year, thanks to Longines, and that is James McDonald joins the Triple Trio.
Deserves it too, doesn't he?
We might actually even add in another very special guest talking about great jockeys, but just watch all of our social media platforms for that. Thanks for watching the Triple Trio or listening. We look forward to your company next week.